We're in game number 1 of a brand new best of 3. This is not the qualifying round, but the winner of this moves on to play their qualifying match for WCS Season 2 2015. These, of course, are the Europe qualifiers, if that's not obvious enough already by the names in front of you. And speaking of which, at the bottom portion of the map, it's going to be the Millennium player, Spawning Red, Spawning Terran. Give it up for MarineLord.
In the top position, as the pink Zerg, it's Stephano.
Okay, so Stephano, man, it's just hype all around. Folks are happy to see him play again. He's shown us some actually pretty fantastic games with unconventional methods, and he took down 2 Protoss players. 2 pretty good Protoss players, I might add. Not the best Protoss players you've ever seen in Europe, but pretty good nonetheless. Put up a good fight, and now we have a whole nother breed, whole nother matchup, TVZ. Where do you think this... I mean, MarineLord doesn't classically play mech in the first place. I don't even know if the Swarm Host question comes into effect.
Probably. I think Stephano, in the last 2 series, it was versus the same race, but in both, he had at least one all-in basically set up and ready to go. The Ling Flood.
Yeah.
In the game that he was... maybe had to start off with, but if he was up 1 or it was even, then I'll throw it in there. Might be the same thing versus Terran. It's a good enough best of 3 strategy I would expect, and you know, Stephano being in lots and lots and lots of tournaments certainly has those best of 3 mentality set up, you know, best of 3, best of 5, whatnot. So I wouldn't be surprised to see at least once all in come down here, or just aggressive maneuver, either or, you know, a Roach push or a Roach Baneling all in. I just expect that in at least one of the games.
Well, I don't think Van Nuys Research Station is the one we're going to see that happen on, just due to the nature of the bases. But at the same time, this is also the map where you're going to see drops go down. So Stephano, I hope he's comfortable playing with Mutalists, because it's almost guaranteed he's going to need them.
I think that he is. He's not someone who always relied on Roach Hydra. In the moment of time where Violet, you know, always did Roach Hydra, and I would actually say something like, yeah, I don't know what his immunity control is really like, but most of everyone has some experience with mutas.
Well, I mean, the thing is, too, you don't even have to dedicate to going like 40 or 30 deep. Sometimes just getting enough to stop the medevacs is more than enough if you want to play really ground heavy. We've actually seen Roaches coming back to the mid game too, but as much as I love Stephano for his Roach play, I don't imagine that's going to be the core element of his composition here.
Yeah.
Now we have the best start to finish up, guys, while the Reaper dances around. It looks like there's about, I'd say close to 18,000 Partoos on MarineLord at a glance, with barely 9,000 on Stephano. So I think everyone definitely feels that MarineLord hype.
Yeah. Some nice back and forth here with the Reaper and the drones. I cannot believe there hasn't been a drone death yet. Yeah. Or a Ling death. There's absolutely nothing.
Well, especially with how late the Lings came out, how late the Queen was to the party. Not like MarineLord's slacking, it's just good control of Stephano so far.
Right, just barely not getting the last shot.
Yeah, I mean, like that one drone that was like 1 shot from dead snuck into the extractor. Lots of little tiny things going into it.
But MarineLord is going into 3 Reapers, something we don't see a whole lot anymore at all, really, especially with the new maps. But it is 3, and it is a decent enough map for it. That you can get away with it. Maybe thinking that he had so many drones low, you'd hope that 3 Reapers would execute at least 1 or 2 of them, but a lot of them are already regaining their health.
Yeah. He'll get some links for this, maybe even a creep tumor or 2, but the Queens are going to live for now.
Well, I feel like it's almost a waste of 3 Reapers if you don't get some type of drone kill. Or a Queen. The Queen would be the best, but...
Yeah. I mean, that's the best way to stop creep tumors, you know? kill what exactly makes them.
So, by not getting anything from those 3 Reapers, just a couple of Lings, I really think that's it's a failed opener, but it's not the biggest deal, right? They'll even help out with the Hellions, too, so... their part... by themselves, it's over, wasn't that great, but with the Hellions, maybe they can do something with that. If they add a Banshee in the mix and Hellbats, you just have the strongest early game army that you probably can. You know, 3 Reapers, 6 Hellbats, 2 Banshees. That's scary.
Well, a quick message for chat while this is going on. Guys, can you please not spam the chat? My mom bought me this new laptop, and it gets really hot when the chat's being spammed. Now my legs are starting to hurt because it's so hot. Please, if you don't want me to get burned, don't spam the chat. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you, Zombie. Thank you especially. That one Queen's getting a little bit low. There's not transfuses available just yet. I don't know how much he wants to really keep this on the front lines, but perhaps Stephano not thinking of the Banshee follow-up, the necessity of those Queens.
Well, maybe, but I feel like already getting a couple of Hellions is well worth it, you know, to stop the ball rolling. Now, it's not going to be a Hellbat push, but even still, just Hellions and Reapers and Banshees would still be quite the power combo. He's already, you know, killing so many of them. I would definitely consider this worth the Ling investments, as long as Queens can defend anything else. He does have 3 extra queens, so Spore Crawlers was going down. I think the Banshee revealed herself right as the Ling started dying. A little bit missed time from MarineLord, maybe. Maybe you could have gotten a couple of free kills. Stephano did not expect it.
Well, there's Spore Crawlers, there's Queens, there's Evolution Chambers. I mean, as messy and scrappy as this early game was between the two of them, I mean, they did kind of trade even at the end of the day, I guess, but it is a situation where Stephano won't be totally caught off guard by this. There's a couple of exposed drones on the side, maybe get some gas mining workers, but the idea with the Banshees, of course, is not to dive in and kill as many workers as possible. This is not an Oracle. You know, a little bit of damage here and there, a bit of control around the map. He does lose this to that Queen. It's going to be quite disappointing, but it's worth noting MarineLord does not have Cloak. He did not invest that far into this.
Yeah. Just went into a Viking afterwards, you know, so really not a big investment. Already has a 3rd base set down and ready to get some SCVs mining, so quite the macro opener for both players, really, even though Stephano might have made more Lings than MarineLord was expecting. You know, got some Hellion kills, maybe he just really wasn't ready to give up. He has replaced the Hellion count. He does want 6 Hellions in the front line when the push comes. Or 6 Hellbats, rather.
Well, Viking clearing up some of the Overlords now is going to be nice to have 1 or 2 kills, but Stephano didn't really spread too many around the map, so there's about 3, maybe 4 he'll get for sure.
Oh, so nice. Just clearing up the path towards the natural is going to open up a lot of opportunities for dropping. You know, I think it was Thermal more than MarineLord, but still, it's up to each Terran to decide if they want to do this. You know, immediately pick up in the medevacs 16 Marines to go right towards the natural, get the other medevacs to go towards the 3rd as the game goes on. That could be very powerful. You know, if they don't see it with the Overlords, they could be down a base, a spawning pool, or 20 drones.
Well, Utilus and Banelings soon to be coming into the fray. Baneling Nested just complete, and hopefully Stephano doesn't forego that speed. Nope, starts it up right away. I feel it's lately we've definitely been catching a couple of Zerg players who either get this really late or forget it entirely. Baneling speed probably one of the more crucial upgrades when it comes to fighting against Bio.
Yeah, that's it. I have no reason for that too. You know, like it's a pretty important upgrade that you always get.
It'd be like forgetting Warp Gate or something on Protoss. Stim on Terran.
It's quite big. I mean, I guess it's like forgetting External Thermal Lance versus Terran when you always get Colossus versus Terran. But I don't know. I do not know.
Well, it's the 3rd kill on an Overlord. Now starting to clean up some of the creep tumors.
The Banshee could possibly kill a couple of Banelings if not controlled correctly by Stephano. But he's just going to go ahead and give up the creep tumors in the 4th base. Let MarineLord get that and just replace it soon enough.
Here goes the Mutas clean up that Viking, so it's not going to get a whole lot more done.
Yeah. And since he has Overlord speed, I think he definitely should be mindful of replacing the Overlords on that side of the map. I think he had a couple of Lings when it was unknown if MarineLord was a type to drop, but he has since taken them and consolidated his army, so there is no defense in his bases. 4th base was immediately planted down again, as well as the creep tumors, but MarineLord not lighting up the pressure at all, just continues on with Hellbats.
It's interesting to see the Hellbats at the front line. I was kind of wondering whether he'd go more like Thermal styles and just, you know, forgo a lot of Widowmines, use Hellbats and Marines, but he's getting the Drilling Claws behind us, so he's going to have a lot more Widowmines to work with. Widowmines, I just, sometimes they're so good and sometimes they're so bad. It's really hard to rely on them. So a lot of the focus is going to have to be on those Marines, on that control, minimizing damage. Baneling's going to roll and get some decent connects. Not a lot of Banelings to have, though. Stephano coming in with round 2. There we go. Soaks up a lot of the Widowmine shots, spreads the Marines, but I don't think MarineLord has enough to fully clean this up. Actually, maybe with this group on the left side, Banelings, nope, picks up in the medevac. It looks like he's going to be A-okay for now.
I mean, this is great splitting and going down. There's not enough Banelings, as you're pointing out during that fight. That was the 2nd round. If he could have split maybe a little bit more, a couple of Marauders were in this as well, and those explode on that could be a really different fight, and suddenly he's pushing into the 4th and killing it. He already got it down to about half health, or less. And Stephano's already kind of feeling the pressure here.
Would like to just publicly apologize to our mods.
Oh.
See, side note, thank you guys for doing such a great job today. I think I just ruined everything, though. Okay, MarineLord, as far as that goes, though, it's still a trait that Stephano, he didn't really come out great with. He's not sitting on 80 drones with enough money to sacrifice wave after wave of banelings. And because of this, we're starting to see that supply gap that becomes really common in TVZ. So many times you see the Terran player up 20 supply, 30 supply, almost what seems like magically. But the problem is with that, Stephano's staying on upgrades. Stephano could take a really good engagement, and it's so easy. It's way easier, I think, to lose Marines to banelings than it is to lose banelings to Widow Mines, as long as you, with a Zerg player, pay attention to where they're burrowed.
That is one thing I'm not liking about MarineLord's second attack, at least. This attack here is that there aren't Marauders still, so nothing really to soak up banelings if the Widow Mines just dud. But his splits are so good, it's off of creep. Where are the Widow Mines going to shoot?
Oh, friendly fire, though!
Marines.
Okay, so he takes all the banelings, but he might as well have the banelings connect anyway. So many of the Marines died to that Widow Mine shot.
Oh, that was lovely, wasn't it?
Oh my god, that was terrible to watch. But he still comes out with a big supply lead, so I guess no QQ from the Terran players just yet. Thor on the front lines too. Not so much about killing the mutas in the clump, but more so about just zoning them out with his range. Lets him set up with some of the Widow Mines. There's a lot of creep to work with this time, though. MarineLord took a pretty good fight off of creep last time. This time he's on the creep, but that spread not looking half bad. And Stephano is just finding himself hungry for units, hungry for more banelings. He just doesn't have enough.
MarineLord is playing like the cleanest game of his life, man. Like everything is timing up so nicely. His control is fantastic.
Focus fire on the banelings.
Immediately.
Nicely done.
He's gonna win this game. I think he's already started. Like, there's too much of a snowball going.
Yeah, the Widow Mines letting me die from that. GG. MarineLord with game number 1 in this best of 3 versus Stephano.